Peace, good people. Uh, you can't tell, but I made this video like 3 times already because I'm trying to get it uploaded to YouTube. My name's Kamal Mshale. I'm an artist slash activist. I made this YouTube channel so I can talk about things I want to address with the black community and with politics and stuff like that in general. And so today I want to talk about the George Soros Black Lives Matter conspiracy theory. And conspiracy theories in general, I guess. So right now there's a conspiracy theory that's a couple years old. The first I heard about it was 2014 when I really started to research things about the movement. That George Soros, who is a billionaire capitalist, funds the Black Lives Matter movement. That's not true, right? Well, it's true and it's not true. It's true that Black Lives Matter has likely gotten some grants from organizations that George Soros funded. But it's not true that George Soros is funding Black Lives Matter. I don't think he really cares who he funds. He just gives money away as part of charity, which lots of billionaires do because it helps keep their taxes down. The places he funds are the Open Society Fund, as well as I think he contributes to the Fund for Black Lives Matter activists or black activists, so that other organizations besides Black Lives Matter can take some funding and be able to do things for their community. Which is to say that you could get funding from George Soros too if you wanted to and do some things with it in your community. It's also to say that George Soros is not controlling these organizations. And it makes me wonder where people got this idea from. Now, the earliest I heard about it was 2014. And when you look on Snopes, you can't find anything past like a meme in terms of where this could have originated from. A meme, and then there's the understanding in general that George Soros gives money to these foundations, and these foundations can give money to organizations. More than likely, this rumor started with something like Breitbart or some right-wing organization, some alt-right organization that doesn't like black people and doesn't like Black Lives Matter. Past that, white people are often conspiracy theorists too, and sometimes the two get intermingled and become a serious problem. Because black people will see a conspiracy and pick it up and run with it. Just like many black people think if you can take your social security number to the right place, somehow you'll get millions of dollars for it. I haven't seen it happen yet. Maybe it does. I don't know. I'm not going to say for sure it does not. I'm pretty confident it doesn't. But if you can prove me wrong, if you can show me your millions of dollars, your bank account that you got from taking your social security number somewhere, I'll eat my words. I don't mind being wrong. I've been wrong before. But I do mind telling black people not to participate in something that's for them and for their liberation. Liberation can be kind of a tricky word because it means different things to different people. And that might be a whole nother video. What does liberation equal? But I do think that being able to control your community, being able to live without being murdered by police, being able to live without being harassed by police, being able to live without being able to live the same quality of life as all the white folks around you, and all the Asian folks around you, having the same schooling, all those things are things that equal being liberated. No one can tell you you're liberated, but all your choices are made for you because you have to beg, borrow, and steal to get the money and the things and the resources you need. That's not freedom. That's how we live in America. That's not free. So we're trying to get free. Now, some people don't like the whole concept of Black Lives Matter, not because they necessarily think it's bad for black people, but they think it's meant to keep us in a kind of passive state instead of working towards sovereignty. I don't have a problem with sovereignty. I'm fairly national-minded. I think black people are a nation, and I think it's positive for us to go out and try to own our own. I don't think, though, that if you can't march in the street to make sure that black people don't get murdered in them, I don't think that if you can't raise up your fist against the system, that you're going to do well with sovereignty. I mean, literally, if you decide you're your own sovereign nation and you did take land, you would have a fight on your hands. I don't think that's how black people should do it. I don't think that's where we are right now. But if that's what you're about, then you have to be prepared to fight and do those type of things. Most of us are not. In fact, most black people have hard time seeing themselves as a black nation. I had a pretty prominent activist today ask me, where is the black community? And that's, not a invalid criticism. It's something we have to work on building, the black community, right? And so that's what I'm about right now. I'm about solidarity. I'm about trying to get together with my people, trying to bridge that gap between progressives and a lot of other activists and political minded and pro black minded people that are out there. And I'm about building the black community. So, as far as I know, Black Lives Matter is not an evil organization. They do represent interests of black people. In fact, they work really towards the most marginalized of black people, the LGBTQA community, as well as many women. And that's important because if you can't protect your most vulnerable people, then are you really talking about nation building? If all you're talking about is black men walking around pretending that they can run everything without any, that they're leaders without any care for the people that they're in front of or they're supposed to be leading, then you're not really talking about liberation. You're just talking about a different type of slavery and a different type of oppression, one that has a black male face on it. I'm not really about that. I'm about equality, and not just equality with white people. You know, I don't feel like that even needs to be said. We equal or better than white people just by default. That's humanity. I'm talking about equality between black people, all black people. If you're not working for all of us, I don't think you're working for any of us. And Black Lives Matter works for all of us. You know, they represent these cases where black men are killed. They represent these cases where black women are killed. They represent changing the forces that impact black people daily. I think these anti-black conspiracies have to be checked. And I think if you claim something's a conspiracy or you claim something's good or bad for black people, you have to do a real serious check on what you're talking about and what you're saying. Because otherwise, you're leading people down the wrong path. Now, twice, I've had to deal with people heckling me because they're trying to deal with their own things between Black Lives Matter and whether or not it's true, and homosexuality in black community and what that means to them. I can't solve everyone's problems, but I can say that we have to find a way to work together. We have to move past and around these conflicts, and we have to work on behalf of all black people. So that's my rant for today. I'll probably make a new rant in another couple of days. I got a lot of stuff to rant on. I might just start off real hard and then slow down for a while. But for right now, let's not be anti-black. Let's be careful of our conspiracy theories. And let's all work together for the betterment of black people. Black power, power to the people.